What's going on, YouTube? AlphonZeus and Team Gradelock here with another episode of Unlocking Your Week. We're going to be going into the local results from Game On from this past Friday and Saturday for at least Cardfight Vanguard and Buddy Fight. We're going to be giving you some Cardfight Vanguard / Buddy Fight news as to what's going on and probably some stuff about the Way Sports scene as well. And then we will conclude this episode with going over the latest Cardfight Vanguard episode, Ride 193. So, let's start off with the local results. So this past Friday we had a tag team tournament. I think there were at least 6 teams that did enter there. The 2 teams that did top were actually Henry and CK and Joe and Jenna. Same 2 teams from last week, so it's good to see the consistency. We had Henry and CK running Silverthorn and Glendios respectively. And then for Joe and Jenna, they were running Raging Form and Yatagarasu of Genesis, which is, pretty interesting, given the interesting restanding and standing rear guards for the synergy between the 2. And then we also have, of course, with Silverthorn and Glendios, very interesting to see how Pale Moon and Link Joker would interact together. If you actually have any info on how some of the matches did go down, feel free to comment down below as well. But outside of that, congrats to both teams for making it to the top of that tournament. And then let's go into the Cardfight Vanguard singles tournament that took place on Saturday. Now, I was not able to enter the tournament because I had my LSAT exam. And, I did okay, but I canceled it because, LSAT was kind of taking a toll on me by the time I got to the 4th and 5th section. So, at least after that, I managed to, at least come home, just do chores, whatever, and then head out to Game On. Now, from the, I think, 16 or 17 plus people that actually entered the tournament, we actually had to cut to a top 8. So, that was actually a pretty good turnout for Cardfight Vanguardians. And in the top 8, or at least how it went to the top 4, we had Henry and Burns, both were running Glendios. I'm not sure how their builds differed. And then we had Joe M of Team Dark Matter running Chaos Breaker Dragon. And we had Rob M of Team Dark Matter as well, running the duos of Bermuda Triangle. I think when we got to top 2, I think it was Henry and Burns, but correct me if I'm wrong. So congrats to those top 4 for making it, especially after the top 8 cut playoff, because usually when we have 16 or less people, top 4 cut, and it can get, pretty varied depending on the quality of your opponents. But once you hit 17, or 17 people and above, I should say, we end up going to the top 8 cut, where pretty much the prize support will be reserved for the top 4. So it's pretty much going through 5 rounds and 6 rounds, since there will be a top 8 cut playoff. And it lasted for quite a while, given, especially with Glendios running about. I know there were a couple of Glendios players that participated in the Cardfight Vanguard tourney, as well as a couple of Mega Colony players too, which is pretty interesting to say. I actually am just 1 break right away from finishing the deck, and then I can probably play it. Outside of the top 4 at Cardfight Vanguard, we had a Buddy Fight tournament, which I entered in, starting to figure that out as a theme as well. First round, I went up against Modesto. It was pretty much a rematch from last week. I won game 1 because I was able to control the field and make sure that I can negate the attacks necessary for him to kind of run out of his resources, especially when he wasn't hitting continue or the mission cards. Game 2 and 3, I ended up making really bad misplays by attacking and triggering his mission cards, because he was able to replenish his card advantage as well as reuse cards again. And pretty much it's that war of attrition really won him out for both games 2 and game 3. So I give him props to that, and now I at least know what to do next time in terms of making sure that that stuff doesn't go off. And unfortunately, I didn't have my Justice, or Banhammers as I like to call them, cards in order to pop those spell cards, which I find that very important, as well as popping the Glory Seeker, which was the weapon that if you mill a spell, your life count goes to 3. Then second round, I went up against Douglas. He was also running Dungeon World Hybrid. He had a few different cards as well. He was just overwhelming me with the Penetrate, and he had the Rock Paper Scissors when he was using Drum, and I wasn't able to really win in that aspect. So I ended up taking 3 damage. And he actually had the Adventurer that when he links attack with another one, another Adventurer, of course, it burns me for damage. And that's how I lost a game to them. And then game 3, I went up against I think his name was John, or actually one of Precise's friends, and he was running Dragon World. It was really a basic build with like Gargantuan, regular Drum, not Thunder Knights. I managed to at least control the field, and he wasn't able to really set himself up for a Gargantuan Punisher because I was able to at least keep my life above 4 and keep his stock, kind of like, alright. And I was able to overcome that, so, alright, I didn't get sacked by a Gargantuan Punisher, so I went to all of that. And then round 4, I went up against John, who was running Katana World, I think it was Ninjas. And pretty much it was a bit tough because he had the spells, he had, Demon Way, he had, the regular shinobi. I can't believe I forgot his name for that. Tsukikage. And he was actually going in with his size 3 monster with double attack. I think that was actually for the trial deck, but thankfully he fell under the same thing as Pillar Fire. And I managed to control the board presence for both games 1 and game 2. So I ended up breaking even, going 2-2 with the Dungeon Turrets. But at least, I had a good time just going with, whether it's doing the short burst plays where you pay like 1 gauge or 2 gauges most, and then you have Justice Hammer, you have Monster Removal, you have Nullify Attack that doesn't have Shield in its name, and it's pretty cool. I definitely liked that build a lot. I don't know, I'm probably gonna see if I can do a deck profile later this week for you, but outside of that, we cut the top 4. We had 11 people participating. Overall, it was pretty awesome to see a good turnout for Buddy Fight, as we actually cut the top 4 this time. First place was Arturo with the Dungeon World hybrid deck that he got the Continental Championship for, and I think he modified it a little bit to include a Peruko, but I'm not sure if that was in his main deck or side deck. Feel free to correct me if I get that wrong. And then second place we had Joe with Skull Warriors of Katana World. Top 8 build. Don't worry, we'll have more details on his deck profile as we move along in this video. Then we have Ian with the Magic World 72 Pillars as Moda, Dangerous Backdrop. What else can I say? And then we have Precise with Danger World, the Armor Knights ace. So we had a very balanced top 4, one of each world outside of Ancient World and Dragon World. Pretty awesome to see that Buddy Fight can be very varied as well compared to the results that I presented for Cardfight Vanguard. We actually want to head into kind of news that have been popping up lately. In terms of the sneak peek events, I know that Buddy Fight, it will have a major sneak peek event for Set 4 Darkness Fable, which will actually be the first sneak peek event for Buddy Fight. And of course, at Game On, they would do the $20 sneak peeks to get your boosters, and then $30 sneak peek for the tournament with insane prize support. I am looking forward to build a Legend World deck based off the Knights of the Round Table, so like King Arthur, Gawain, Excalibur, Merlin, and then I'll put in, the Gleipnir and Fenrir as well, because it seems like those 2 cards will always be in a Legend World build, no matter what type of build you actually end up going for. Instead of that, in terms of going into the Cardfight Vanguard community, we have a couple things to report on. First, I know that we have to put up the matches from Cardfight Vanguard. I was trying to see if I can get commentary from either Jason or John, but since it's kind of hard to do that nowadays, I will provide commentary myself just to at least announce how the moves are doing, see what they were trying to go for, and really observe so I can give kind of an objective commentary as to the move sets and what they had. Now, of course, I can't see what they had in their hand the whole time, but I will do my best in order to provide at least some sort of commentary to help supplement the video itself. In terms of other Cardfight Vanguard news, I'm probably going to sell off a deck or so. I don't know. I know I sell a Mega Colony because I already, almost have that done, but other decks I might sell off because I want to try and get Buddy Fight stuff ready. And of course, I want to get the Wade Schwartz because in terms of the New Jersey Wade Schwartz Cardfight Vanguard group, Kill stuff was posted. I saw signed cards. I saw some pretty good broken pulls from boxes that people in the community bought, and I really want to get in there. I want to try at least a blue-green deck, but as what I've seen so far, it seems that it's going for the mono colors a lot, with the only dual colors I've seen will actually be red and yellow, so like the Best Friends build with Mako and Ryuko. I want to try it out because I already bought 2 trial decks anyway, so why not? But I will look forward to trying to see if I can get blue or green deck done because that's the usual theme with Wade Schwartz deck for me. I always go for blue or green. I don't really lean towards the red or yellow that much. But, we'll see what happens. If I can get my hands on the box, I'll see what I can do. If not, then we can try later. Now, in fact, one thing that we're planning to do for this week will actually involve deck profile. So we're gonna try and get together, Joe's top 8 Katana World Skull Warrior build. Jason still has to send the video over to Joe, and then after that, I'll see if I can try and either meet up with him or at least get the video transferred so I can have that up by the end of this week. And then in terms of the match, we'll have John versus Jason up for you hopefully by Wednesday, and then if not, we'll see if we can try and go for Thursday. So you'll expect at least 2 different videos from me at least. Henry also will put up videos himself, whether he's selling decks or he's putting an updated trade binder. Whatever the case may be, we will try and at least give you more video content every week now. And inside of the Team Gradelock preview that we have, we actually have a little Iron Man challenge we actually want to do. So far, with what Henry and CK have been planning, they actually want to try out 2 of our members to just go at it in a classic Iron Man match where the first person to 3 wins will, of course, win the challenge. And we're doing this between John and Ian. So the rules are simple. Pretty much you have one person and another person. They each start with a deck, and that person can change decks if they lose. But if the person wins, they have to keep the deck until it's beaten. So, of course, with the decks that a lot of the Team Gradelock members have, we like to make, of course, more than 1 or 2 decks because, we love the game. And we will do our best to see how we can record all of these matches. I'm not sure how many matches they will be. If need be, if it goes over a certain time, then we'll probably splice it in half so it wouldn't seem like it would be one whole video. But this is a pretty good project or for a new series or something we can really put up for our channel. And showing the Iron Man challenge among our teammates can definitely help us playtest the regionals and as well as just improve our overall game mechanic, especially in terms of playing a game pretty random as Cardfight Vanguard. And that's it for the local results and Team Gradelock news that we have for you. And now let's move on to the latest Cardfight Vanguard episode, Ride 193. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to get spoiled on the episode, feel free, you can just close the video, move on your merry way. But if not, let's get right to the discussion. So Ride 193, Sword of Annihilation, or in English, Sword of Destruction. We get to see finally the final, hopefully, fight of Season 4 between Kai and Aichi take place. Of course, Aichi would explain himself, especially the whole situation of how this came about, but we still don't know why in this whole plan Kai still remembered who Aichi was, and he was the one that actually set forth all of these plans in motion. And Aichi even would admit that the worst thing that he has feared has come to pass. And the thing is, as crazy as this fear might be to be fully realized, that somebody betrayed the Quartre Knights, the seal is broken, and now whoever defeats Aichi, or if Aichi wins, Link's Joker will run havoc. Probably what happened at my locals this past weekend. What we have here is an extremely important card fight that could go either way. After what we've seen between Kai and Galliard, between Kai and Aichi, it can probably be even better. But at least when Aichi premiered this card. And oh my goodness, they finally premiered Blaster Joker in the anime. And of course Kai recognized it because, of course, the name is on the card. But seeing this unit, especially when we've seen the reveal of what this unit can do, is really broken. And it can be on the same level as Dark Zodiac, even though that in terms of Blaster Joker, even though you lock everything, you're probably going to need to get a lot of units to unflip and keep those units locked if you ever want to see Omega. And after that, we finally get to the fight of the season. Aichi versus Kai, Link Joker versus Kagero, Star Vaders versus Perdition Dragon, Draconic Overlord, and oh boy, this will be an awesome fight for the next episode, including this one. I will be so hyped, and they did something awesome in this one, in which that it makes a throwback to Season 1, even in Season 2. And I bet you're wondering, what type of throwback are you talking about? Well, I've said over the past couple of episodes when breaking down the Cardfight Vanguard episode, was that they actually skipped, the ride phases, drive checks even, and they just show damage being checked and maybe even another attacker on grade 1 or grade 2 ride. This time though, we get to see a throwback since this is a very special card fight. We actually get to see the ride, we get to see the attacks, And even though it's kind of like how Kai and Galliard fought, it just brings a lot more nostalgia to the feeling, because of course, all the way back in Season 1, we see Blaster Blade versus Draconic Overlord, except now, look at how far all of these characters have gone, and how far differently they have traveled. Not only as a team, but separately as well. Throughout, from Season 1 with the crazy, Mega Blast, to, the Cross Rides, to, Limit Break, and then Break Rides, and now Legion. It's really awesome to see in this episode, at least, before the 200th episode, we finally get to see a throwback to what seemed just like a regular day at the card shop between Aichi and Kai, when Aichi won with a Grade 2 Blaster Blade. Now going back to the beginning of the fight, when Aichi would reveal what happens if he does beat Kai. And the thing is, though, that plan that he said, where he would actually make the new Quartre Knights of Ren, Leon, Naoki, and Kai, which seems like a way more broken team than Galliard, Neve, Rati, and Sarah. Well, first of all, one of the original Quartre Knights betrayed Aichi, and second, I kind of feel bad that Aichi would be willing to toss them to the side, even though that he did, in fact, save them indirectly from the Link's Joker invasion. And, oh boy, if Aichi does win, I've seen the picture on Facebook where they show what the Quartre Knights could look like. Actually, you know what? I'll show you a picture of that right now. Now, the Facebook page Liberator Monarch Sanctuary Alfred, which is kind of cool to see, they would post up a picture like this of what they could possibly look like if Aichi did win the card fight against Kai. And I gotta say, everybody looks pretty badass in that photo, and I'm not sure who in the world would actually stand up to these Quartre Knights and actually break Aichi from the seal once again. And finally, we get to see the Grade 3 ride, where Aichi and Kai bring out the big guns, where Blaster Joker gets the upgrade to Grade 3, and Kai brings in the latest iteration of Draconic Overlord. From the OG, to the Cross Ride, to the Break Ride, to the Reverse, to the Legion, Draconic Overlord along the Blaster Blade, Veteran Unit, and almost every single iteration, from every step of the way, has proven to be a very meta-defining way to say, hey, I'm still on top ever since day one. But even this latest iteration of Blaster Blade into Blaster Joker has never seen a play like this before, out of just a one card to a Legion combo, where you pretty much use the same Legion mate, except this time you lock everything on your opponent's field and you retire the Legion mate, which is a first. And rightfully so, because this is Aichi we're talking about, the main character of the series. And seeing the Blaster Joker Legion skill performed on the anime, we get to see Aichi in a mode that we really haven't seen him before. The last time he would act something like this would be in his Psyqualia state, where he would go total BM, bad manners, and just call final turn, disrespect your opponent, and all that stuff, where Kai manages to snap him out of it. But now he has more confidence than ever. He's more focused, and he's willing to say that when I beat you, this will happen, and there is nothing you can do about it. And after performing the Legion skill like that, I don't know what else Kai could do. Would he pull out a random ass cross ride Legion for Draconic Overlord the Great? Or will we see something else different? Will we actually see triggers that will be crazily populating the next episode? I'm not really sure. But whatever it is, Kai is in a very, very rough spot. I haven't seen the preview for the next episode after that, but I'm looking forward to see how this will all end. It can really go one of two ways, whether it's Kai actually eliminating the Link Joker presence from Aichi and accepting it to himself, which is kind of like saying, I'm going to restart Season 3 all over again, or it's going to be Aichi's win, where he actually reforms the Quartre Knights. I don't know what he's going to do with the old Quartre Knights. I hope he doesn't discard them, because they're actually pretty efficient card fighters, as, as downplayed as I like to talk about them like that, since, they just premiered this season. And I hope that this season will come to an end where it will get the audience begging to come back for more in Season 5. And with the movie coming out, I don't know, I want to see how this all factors in. I really hope to see, if possible, that Season 4 would actually lead up to the movie, and then the movie will just have all this stuff happening, and then it goes into Season 5. I guess that's my own theory, but whatever the case may be, I'm going to be glued to the computer, just waiting in anticipation to see what this next episode will be. And that's it for this episode. I hope that you enjoyed this episode breakdown of Ride 193. Of course, if I missed anything, feel free to comment down below and get a conversation started. And aside from that, I hope that you will enjoy this week that I've unlocked for you. And from Team Gradelock to you guys and gals, thank you, and we'll see you all next time. Take care.